Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kadash, that belongs to the elders of GMS super well. Peace and salutations to Lake Akim in the four corners of this earth, pushing truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This is Ecclesiastes 7:3. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance the heart is made better. Verse 4, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of myrrh. Verse 4, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. I want to focus on those three verses right there. And in fact, I could have even went up top to verse 2. Matter of fact, I am. Verse 2, it is better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart. Now, let's start with verse 3. Again, after I done read it all the way through, it says, sorrow is better than laughter. For the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. Now, it says sorrow or sadness is better than laughter. So how is that? Why is that? Now, we know laughter feels better. We know that. We know happiness feels better than sorrow. But it says sorrow is better than laughter. Why does it say that sorrow is better than laughter? It says, reading on, it says, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. Meaning you learn and you grow through sadness. You know, you end up getting hurt, going through pain. You find out how to overcome that pain, how to overcome those obstacles. By that, it makes you tougher. It makes you stronger. But now, laughter, that's not going to help you overcome anything. That's not going to help, make you tougher. Laughing and being a goofball, being a jester, that's not going to help you overcome anything. But going through real life situations where, your mom died, your dad died, your uncle dies, your grandmother that was only one to take care of you dies, that type of pain will make you stronger. Or, if you don't succumb to it, that'll make you stronger. So let's say you have a feasting at a house. Y'all all laughing, getting along, playing, drinking wine. Once it's over, it's not going to make you a better person. That's for that moment. It's not going to make you a stronger, tougher person. Help you deal with realities of life. In fact, that laughter is supposed to help relieve that sorrow. So you go through some sorrow and sadness, you start to perceive and see the world from a different perspective. You lose, let's say you are falsely accused of something that you didn't do and you become exonerated. That sorrow that you experience by being accused of whatever it is that you were accused of, well, that sorriness that you feel, you're going to feel, you're going to grow because you're going to realize how many people didn't have your back. How many people don't, actually believe those allegations about you. You accuse something that you didn't do. And then as soon as you're exonerated, nobody apologizes. So you're going to see, experience, and grow. Something that laughter can't do. You're going to, you might go to jail. And all of a sudden, nobody calls you. Nobody writes you. Nobody thinks about you. You see the world differently. You experience, what it's like being in prison with other inmates. That sadness it will make you tougher. If you know, it's a secret sink or swim. You're gonna find out different coping mechanisms how to deal with sorrow. And also you'll be able to go in the house of mourning because you've been in a similar situation and you learn coping mechanism. You can help others. Verse 4, the heart of wise. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. So a wise person is going to be there when a person's sad, when a person's mourning. That's where the heart of the wise is. You'll be able to relate to people in some of the situations who haven't, because even though if you've been in tough times, this person has been in tough times tougher than you, or a person might be in tough times that are similar to you, or a person might be in tough times to where you might be able to relate to them and you can understand. Doesn't necessarily mean you always have to agree with every decision they make just because you understand, but you'll be able to understand the type of environment and type of experiences that create the attitude that they have, that they're embracing, that they've come to get. Like for instance, I will sometimes watch, documentaries, where women were strippers or are strippers, or women that were molested or murdered, or not murdered, but molested or raped. And just to hear the trauma that comes with it, being kidnapped or stuff like that, that's sorrow. But, it helps me to understand, what type of, because we're humans, we're a product of our environment and we're a product of our personal experiences. So it helps me to understand that those personal experiences, what type of human does that create? So I can actually now see, okay, I see a person who is a lesbian and she's a tomboy. I don't know her, but I remember watching and being in the House of Myrrh, hearing women who were molested or raped, and said that they started coping with it by, becoming a lesbian, dressing like a tomboy because they want to dress like a boy because they didn't want to attract attention from other men because they didn't want to get raped. So knowing that, when I see a lesbian stud dressed like a boy, I'm already assuming that. I'm already thinking that. I already have an idea how to, approach her. If I am going to approach her, to teach her or tell her about the truth. And also another thing, when you're in the House of Myrrh, that's when you are most receptible to receive truth. When you're sad, when you're happy and you ain't about to really be hearing this truth. So you're going to be in the house of, not like House of Myrrh, the house of mourning. Verse 4 says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of the fool is in the house of myrrh. Little club up, crank that this. You in that spirit. A fool is. Verse 5. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. So a person who's wise, he's going to be in the house of myrrh. A person who's in a house of myrrh, he's going to learn and experience so many stuff by hearing people vent to where they can, rebuke somebody else. So you want to be rebuked by a wise person who's been in the house of myrrh. Slacky, the house of mourning. Verse 5, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. Radio plays So that stupid music nonstop. I'm living my best life. You know, that's the Song of Fools. Hearing the Song of Fools ain't gonna help you. Being in the house of mirth, like I keep saying, this house of mourning will. And on that note, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Makakudash. That belongs to the elder GMS who were well. Peace and salutations, Shalom.